Hello there. Welcome to Primary's Corner. I am your host, Personatus Vaapad, primary and founder of the Outer Rim Praxeum. This is the last episode of Primary's Corner Season 1. After this, we'll be taking a break for a few months to film Season 2. To cap it off, we will be going over Form 7, Juyo/Vaapad, the Ferocity form, or the Way of the Bronzer. In Star Wars lore, Juyo was developed by the Sith, who fueled themselves with the rage of battle and unleashed it on the battlefield. Juyo was the most dangerous and aggressive of the lightsaber forms, but its wild movements left the user vulnerable to counterattack. Because Juyo glorifies fear, anger, hatred, it proved to be a particular challenge for the Jedi, and it caused many of them to fall to the dark side. Enter Jedi Master Mace Windu. Mace Windu developed Vaapad from Juyo because he had this natural love of a good fight, and he used that instead of rage. With Vaapad, he's able to funnel the dark side back to his opponent without letting it affect him. In the Praxeum, we consider Juyo a Sith form and Vaapad a Jedi form because of their respective origins.
Juyo has two attack variants. The first holds the blade above and in front of the head. It strikes by rotating the wrists in a rapid staccato fashion. The second pops out the hilt and wraps the blade around the enemy's defense. Vaapad attacks very differently. The blade is held horizontally and attacks by pushing out with the blade. Vaapad also attacks by holding the blade horizontal to the side and sweeping it back and forth. On defense, both Juyo and Vaapad use a hexagonal pattern. This allows for a snappy defense while setting up for defensive counters. Both Juyo and Vaapad have a maneuver called the offensive and defensive counter. Because they need a partner to demonstrate, and due to time constraints, we weren't able to get video. The Juyo offensive counter works by striking the defending blade, flicking it aside, and following it up with a strike. The Juyo defensive counter works by catching the incoming blade, flicking it aside, and stepping forward with a killing blow. The Vaapad offensive counter works by sliding along the front of the defending blade, then slipping behind it to strike. The defensive counter catches the front of the incoming blade, wraps it around the back, and guides the blade aside, sweeping back for the kill. Juyo and Vaapad's strengths are speed, varied attack patterns, and devastating counters. Their weaknesses are they're overly aggressive, tiring, and they have a lackluster defense. The canonical master of Juyo is the Sith Lord Darth Maul, and the canonical master of Vaapad is, of course, Jedi Master Mace Windu.
Alright, well that wraps it up for Season 1, and thank all of you for watching. And please leave comments telling us what subjects you'd like for us to cover in the future. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, I am your host, Personatus Vaapad, and I will leave you with the Vaal family motto, Semper Novandi, always innovating.